The Yautja species from the Predator movies are one of the coolest and most interesting sci-fi creatures, with loads of fleshed out lore to them. Join me in exploring the different aspects of their biology and culture from across the various movies, comic books, novels and video games. Thank you and enjoy the video. When a predator removes its biomask, one of the first features the viewer will notice are the distinct mandibles overlaying the creature's mouth. They are comprised of 4 parts which are controlled independently from one another, and have a long fang at the end of each one. They are connected on each side by a membrane of skin which act like cheeks and allow the mouth to close shut. When they are fully opened out, the predator's main mouth can be seen inside, with fleshy gums and small sharp teeth. Towards the back of the mouth is the opening to the throat, which can open and close. While not yet confirmed, behind this opening, the predator may have additional teeth, perhaps molars, which would allow it to chew its food. In the movie The Predator, both predators in the film were seen to attack by biting. First, the fugitive bit into the arm of one of his captors during his escape, and later on, the assassin bit the head off of a Stargazer soldier. While we have not yet seen the predator eating on screen, in Predator 2 we are told that the city hunter had been tracked entering a meat factory and that he was likely feeding on the beef. In the comic books and novelisations, this aspect is explored a bit further, and we see them eating mostly meat but some plant matter as well, so it would seem the Yautja are omnivorous but lean a little bit more to the carnivorous side. This makes sense as they have sharp teeth, so would be best suited for eating meat. Also seen being prepared is a brew which seems to have a similar effect to alcohol. And in the video game Predator Hunting Grounds, the player can regain their health by eating wild boars. The mandibles are used as well to aid in communication, and by clicking their teeth together will produce a number of vocalizations which are used alongside croaks and growls to talk among themselves. Alongside the vocal mimicry function of the biomask, predators are seen to be able to imitate noises they hear, such as human speech, much like some types of birds can. This was seen mostly in Predator 1 and 2, with the jungle and city hunter predators replicating human speech. This seems to be something that later films would not have in them as much, which is a shame, as I think it's an interesting thing that they did, and to my recollection they don't even do it at all in the last couple of movies, but I think I would like to see this concept reintroduced in a future film. Depending on the individual or which subspecies they belong to, the mandibles may also be differently shaped and have additional tusks and fangs coming out of them. In Predator 1 and AVP, the predators were seen to have the more common type of mandibles, but in Predator 2 and AVPR, these were seen with more tusks coming from the bottom mandibles. In Predators, the super predator was seen to have really large mandibles which opened laterally and looked more insect-like, resembling the jaws of a beetle. And in Prey, the feral predator had its own style of mandibles, which were spaced far apart and opened very wide in a vertical fashion. If a mandible is lost, it will not grow back and it is gone forever. A distinctive trait from the Yautja present in the Predalien xenomorph type are the mandibles, and they are seen in every depiction of the creature. In the movie AVPR, they were used to latch onto a host's face, much like a facehugger. And when infected with the black goo pathogen, a predator was seen to grow 8 additional mandibles as part of its mutation. An often cited piece of trivia is that, while Stan Winston is credited with the overall Predator creature design, it was actually James Cameron who gave him the idea to include the mandibles, as during a conversation, he told Stan Winston that he'd always wanted to see a creature design that featured them. In the Predator movies, the Yautja are seen to have bioluminescent green blood, one of the most instantly recognisable and unique quirks of their biology. Originally, the filmmaker's intent was to actually have the predator's blood be orange, so it would contrast with the jungle environment of the film, but the substance was difficult to produce in the quantities they needed, and so they instead used the liquid from inside green glow sticks, as that was an easier and more readily available option, so in the end the blood became green. To create the viscosity that would be required, the glowstick liquid was mixed with a lubricant, and this has been how the blood has been made for the movie since. So that's the short answer, and the reason why from a filmmaking perspective, but what we really want to know is the reason why in-universe. In real life, chromoproteins are what gives blood its colour, and different types of animals can have different chromoproteins. In most vertebrates, the chromoproteins contain iron, which is what gives it its red colour, but in many crustaceans and mollusks, theirs contain copper, which gives their blood a blue colour. So whatever chromoproteins the predator's blood has would be what gives it its distinctive green colour. Sulfhemoglobinemia is a condition in which there is excess sulfur in the blood. The pigment is a greenish derivative of hemoglobin and can turn the person's blood green. So it is possible the chromoproteins in the predator's blood contain sulfur. Also, in some worms, their blood can appear to be green. The chromoprotein in their blood is similar to hemoglobin, but the affinity for oxygen tends to be weaker. Therefore, it looks green in diluted solutions, but appears light red in concentrated solutions. The predator's blood is also bioluminescent, which means when a living organism emits light. This is caused by chemical reactions, usually when the compound reacts with oxygen, so it is possible the blood only glows when it comes into contact with the air, but does not do so when inside the body. An oversight to the predator's design can be seen when looking at the inside of the mouth and gum areas, and also in AVP when the predator gives himself a scar with the xenomorph acid. These areas appear pink like they would on us humans, but the reason these skinless fleshy areas appear pink is because they have blood vessels near the surface, and our red blood is what gives them their pink colour. So on a predator, these areas should more closely resemble their own blood colour. Predator blood also has life-giving and healing properties which can give virtually any known species revitalised strength and extended lifespans. In the video game Predator Concrete Jungle, when the Scarface Predator was shot by Isabella Borgia, she and her newborn baby Hunter were drenched in the Yautja's blood, which kept them alive for a century, especially for Hunter, who otherwise would have died shortly after birth. However, it needed to be constantly replenished in order for him to remain alive, and he would use his cyborg army to capture other Yautja to be vampirized. And in the comic book Aliens vs Predator Eternal, Gideon's son Lee was another human who consumed Predator's blood in order to maintain his youth, only he would take entire organs. At the time of his death, he was 738 years old. And finally, in the novel Aliens vs Predator Prey, the Yautja blood was also able to partially neutralise the xenomorph corrosive acid. One of the most recognisable features which give the predators their unique appearance are the so-called dreadlocks, also referred to as dreads, quills, or my personal favourite, predlocks. These are hair-like appendages seen growing from the back and sides of a Yautja's head. Their name comes from their similar appearance to the hairstyle of the same name worn by some humans. Depending on the individual, smaller versions of them can also be seen growing from the brow and facial areas, as well as on the shoulders, torso, arms and legs. They can also vary in length, with some predators having shoulder-length dreads, and others measuring a couple of feet, and the feral predator from Prey had thinner dreadlocks and more of them. They are usually black, but other predators have been seen to have different colours, such as the falconer who had brown ones, berserker whose were black with red tips, and like hair they lose their pigment with age, as the elders from Predator 2 and Alien vs Predator both had grey dreadlocks. Small rings are commonly seen in them, which may signify which clan they come from, their ranking within the clan, or simply a form of jewellery for decoration, as predators are known to do this with bones and other body parts taken from their prey. Some Yautja have been seen wearing their dreadlocks in different styles, notably Topknot, a predator from the comics, Shaman from Predator 2 who had very long dreads held in a clip, and in the AVP Extinction game, the military Hydra and Blazer had them tied back in a ponytail, thought to be done in the same vein as Earth-based armed forces will shave the heads of their soldiers. And in the game Predator Concrete Jungle, the captured predators were seen to have their dreadlocks cut off, likely for surgical reasons to give easier access to the brain, as Borgia Industries were turning them into cyborgs. Also, the Predalien Xenomorph cast will inherit the dreadlocks from the host, as did the specimen seen in Aliens vs Predator Requiem. There is some debate on whether they actually are hairs like on us Earth mammals, or fleshy organs that serve a sensory function. It's not been explained outright, and there are good points for both arguments. There's not necessarily a correct answer, and they can differ across the various media forms they're depicted in, from the movies, comic books, novelisations, and video games. Some sources suggest the dreadlocks are not hair but fleshy growths that provide the predator with an additional sense, such as a nose, eyes, or ears all do, either to aid with detecting heat or a different one entirely. In the 1996 comic book Predator Strange Rue, when the Yautja known as the Gollywomp had some of his dreadlocks shot off, they were shown to bleed. In one scene from Predators from 2010, we see a predator skull which has holes for the dreads to grow from, so perhaps they could be rooted into the brain itself. And in 2018's The Predator, the scientist character theorises the dreadlocks seen on the Predator dogs may be some sort of sensory receptors.
Dreads. What's that all about?
I don't know, maybe like sensory receptors? Kind of like.
And as for the possibility of them being the Predator's version of hair, across the Predator's body, numerous little examples of the dreads can be seen in the same places humans can get facial and body hair, such as along the brow, the cheek and chin areas, shoulders, back, abdomen, and on the arms and legs. They are seen to lose their pigment just like animal hair, as seen on older members of their species, and in the Concrete Jungle game, when some of the imprisoned predators are seen with theirs cut off, they are not bleeding, but just appear to have been cut shorter like with hair, and with no detriment to their perception. And finally, Stan Winston, who designed the creatures in the first and second movies, was known to refer to the predator dreadlocks as quills, apparently likening them to feathers or porcupine quills, suggesting that this is what he saw them as being. An interesting detail to note is that when creating the cloaking effect in the first two films, the creature's dreadlocks tended to be ignored and were simply removed from the image. According to the team that worked on the effect, the reason for this was intentional, as it would have been too time consuming to render each individual dreadlock using the technology of the time, and it was only seen to be done in a couple of shots, but in later films it was made easier with the use of CGI. Yautja Prime is the home planet of the Yautja species, also known as the Predators. In AVP Requiem, it is shown orbiting a binary star system consisting of a G-type star and a smaller red dwarf star. Judging from the numbers of rocks we see in orbit around the planet, it would likely have a ring system. The planet's surface is Earth-like, but with higher temperatures, and has at least two major biomes, a dry-hot desert environment and a humid, wet jungle biome. The feral predator from Prey was confirmed to be from the desert region, and the Jungle Hunter clan are likely from the tropical area. The terrain is mostly made up of mountains and canyons, and intense volcanic activity is present, with the volcanic regions known to contain areas of lethal radioactivity. Its atmospheric composition is almost identical to Earth's, allowing the predators to breathe on our planet, at least temporarily, and the reverse would also be likely. It also has a stronger gravitational pull, giving the Yautja the impressive physical strength they are known for. The architecture of the predator civilization is made up of pyramids, statues, buildings, and other structures, with a similar design language to their hunting equipment. Not much is known about the native life of the world, but there seems to be a plethora of wildlife, including the Calypsos, a flying insectoid, The Vidrak, a winged beast also known as the Phoenix, which spearmasters would craft their unique armour from, and the Quetzal Rige, one of the planet's fiercest creatures, the skin and bones of which are used to create a ceremonial biomask. The most noteworthy, of course, are the Yautja themselves, which are broken down into 3 known subspecies: the classic predators, super predators, and feral predators. Classic predators are the most commonly seen type, such as jungle hunter, city hunter, and scar. Super predators, a slightly larger type with a different head shape. Examples of this species are berserker, falconer, and tracker. And the feral predators, a more savage, primitive type with their own appearance. The only known individual is known as the feral predator. Individual groups, factions, and communities of the Yautja are usually referred to as tribes or clans, with the 2 terms being used interchangeably. Depending on the specific tribe, each may follow slightly different laws and rituals, but most follow a similar code of honour where only dangerous enemies are to be hunted, and killing those who do not pose any threat are deemed dishonourable. Any Yautja who disobeys this code become known as bad bloods, essentially Yautja criminals and outcasts. A few examples of these tribes are the Lost Hunters, the Isolated Clan, and the Dark Blade Clan. The main ruling authority of Yautja Prime are the Council of Ancients, who act as spiritual leaders of the species and provide guidance and structure via the laws they create. The Council is responsible for keeping sacred Yautja rituals and traditions alive, and to also uphold the honour and integrity of the species as a whole, and will ruthlessly destroy anything that sullies that honour. Thousands of years ago, an advanced insectoid alien race called the Amengi invaded the planet of Yautja Prime and enslaved the more primitive ancestors of the Yautja, who were then known as the Hish. The Amengi ruled over the Hish ruthlessly, using them primarily for slave labour, food, and as a means of entertainment, specifically for fighting competitions. However, after becoming soft from centuries of luxury, the Amengi were suddenly subject to a massive uprising led by an unusually strong and intelligent Hish known as Ka'il. Despite their advanced technology, the Amengi were overwhelmed by the rebels and slaughtered. The survivors were themselves enslaved by the Hish, who seized their advanced technology and used it for themselves. Although the story about the Amengi enslaving and then becoming overthrown by their predators isn't really considered canon, I think it would explain how a seemingly primitive acting tribal society would have access to things like energy weapons and interstellar spaceships. The predator species, also known as the Yautja, are shown to hold value in the mementos taken from their most worthy kills. These typically include those from the deadliest creatures they hunt. Trophies can include a variety of items. Most commonly, a piece of the victim's body is taken, but items of personal significance to the original owner may be claimed as well. The body itself may also be mutilated and left behind. In most cases, trophies are collected by Yautja as a means to display their skill. Recovered trophies are often displayed proudly in a dedicated cabinet or room. Some are even worn about the Yautja's person if it is of a small size. The most common form of trophy collected is the victim's skull, sometimes with or without the spinal cord still attached. A removed skull will be meticulously cleaned, the flesh and muscle stripped from it, and the brain and other organs removed, before being displayed alongside other trophies collected by the individual or those of the entire clan. One of the most commonly seen types of trophies are human skulls. Although not much threat to a Yautja physically, humans are one of the deadliest prey animals a predator can hunt due to their intelligence, cunning, weapons, and technology. Quality trophies from human warriors are held in high regard. Another highly prized trophy are the skulls of xenomorphs, and a Yautja's first xenomorph kill is considered a rite of passage. After defeating a xenomorph, a predator will advance to the next stage of their social hierarchy, known as being blooded. Xenomorph trophies of drones, warriors, and others from human-born xenomorphs are displayed proudly, but there is one xenomorph which the skull is not valued, and that is that of the Predalien, which is viewed as an abomination and insult to the Yautja species. Predators are sometimes seen to have trophy skulls taken from other Yautja, but these are a lot more rare and are usually seen in possession of bad bloods, though honourable predators are seen to take them sometimes if they have defeated a willing Yautja opponent or have themselves defeated a bad blood or rival subspecies like a super predator. Some other skulls from different alien creatures are seen in the movies Predator 2, AVP Requiem, Predators, and in Prey, the feral predator was seen hunting other Earth animals. One trophy we see him take is the skull of a wolf, which he battled and killed. Smaller skulls and other bones may be worn about the predator's person, being strung through necklaces or attached to their armour. In some cases, the victim's body itself becomes the trophy. The body will be flayed of all skin, disemboweled, and hung by the feet from a height. In some cases, the corpse is not recovered and is left as a warning or taunt to any other prey who may discover it, as well as an indication of the predator's worth and experience to other predators. This is seen to be done to prey who did put up a fight, but were not quite worthy of having their skull taken, which is reserved for the best prey. In less common cases, a trophy may not be a part of the victim's body, but an item of personal worth to them. For example, the elder predator encountered by Mike Harrigan in Los Angeles had in its possession a flintlock pistol dating from the 18th century, originally claimed from a pirate captain named Raphael Adelini as shown in the comic book Predator 1718, or as later depicted in Prey, it was traded to Nauru from a French voyager and somehow ended up in the hands of the elder. If a member of another species defeats a predator honourably or fights alongside it, they may be presented with a trophy of their own in the form of a weapon or other artefact. Super predators, also sometimes referred to as super black predators or berserker Yautja, are a subspecies of the Yautja race and were first introduced in the movie Predators from 2010. They are similar in size to slightly larger than classic predators at around 7 feet tall. Their skin has a more reptilian appearance and is scaly in addition to having different pigmentation. Another feature is their dreadlocks, which are more swept back than normal Yautja and come in a variety of colours. They possess a longer face with more exaggerated mandibles, giving them a somewhat more reptilian insect hybrid looking effect, and a more elaborate shape to the top of their head. A super predator's vocalisations tend to sound deeper and overall different from those of classic Yautja. Alongside their physical traits, they differ in terms of culture. Unlike their cousins, they have no qualms about killing an unarmed enemy. They appear to value trophies and large number of kills rather than honour in the hunt. It is said that they are constantly trying to improve themselves to become better killers, and that is why they use the most dangerous of prey in order to hone their technology and tactics. The super predators share a similar characteristic with the killer Yautja, as they have also captured and controlled xenomorphs for their own use. The super predator clan is at war with the jungle hunter clan. It is described as a blood feud spanning for millennia. The feud was triggered by the Nightstorm predator. Very little is known about him beyond his presence on Earth 4,000 years ago, partaking in one of the first earthly xenomorph hunts in ancient Egypt. However, he disapproved of the Yautja Honor Code, believing it allowed prey far too much leeway, thus he departed to form his own faction, desiring to unite all super predators under his own leadership. His status cemented him as a legendary elder who only hunted the most worthy of adversaries. In jungle hunter culture, Nightstorm is considered a devil. Super predators are speculated to be bad bloods, meaning they are outcasts who are at war with the honourable Yautja. Super predators also are seen to possess unique weapons and equipment which differ from those seen on other predators. They have only a single blade on their wrist gauntlets instead of a twin pair, and have different plasma casters. Berserkers had a rotating barrel allowing for a faster rate of fire, and trackers could be charged, creating a blast so powerful it could vaporise a human. Super Predator armour is less bulky and more streamlined. The Falconer Super Predator was shown using a Predator Falcon drone to track his prey. So far, Super Predators are the only Yautja known to use falcons. Hellhounds are used by the Super Predator clan to flush out their prey. The hounds were controlled by the Tracker Predator. They have a high pain tolerance and are very resilient, as evidenced by them surviving wounds which would be fatal to creatures from Earth. Hounds most closely resemble therapsids, which were reptilian-looking ancestors of mammals, and the creatures are covered in spikes and tusks. Super Predators were seen on the Game Preserve planet, where they captured and released the deadliest species from different worlds to then track down and hunt. Pitting themselves up against these creatures would put the Super Predators' skills to the test, and they would also learn from their prey and adopt their weaponry and techniques. This planet was covered with tropical jungle and orbited a gas giant. It also had a longer day and night cycle than Earth's and had no magnetic north. A xenomorph spawned from a Super Predator host is known as a Berserker alien. This predalien type has a red and black coloration and lacks the dreadlocks of a classic predalien. It is among the deadliest known xenomorphs. Super Predators are far rarer than classic types. The individuals known to exist are Berserker, the clan leader of the Game Preserve planet Predators; Falconer, a member of Berserker's tribe, he was seen using a falcon drone to scout with; Tracker, the third member of Berserker's hunting party, he was the keeper and trainer of the Hellhounds; Nightstorm, the Super Predator who began the feud with the classic Predators; Scavenge, a descendant of Nightstorm, he was half Super Predator and half Classic Predator and an honourable warrior; LV-412 Berserker, a Super Predator who bared a striking resemblance to the Game Preserve planet Yautja of the same name. At some point he gained the ability to control a hive of xenomorphs. The Predator language is a complex verbal and written language used by the Yautja. It is depicted in the form of dashes and curved symbols, though these may just be different fonts. It is vocalised by a series of growls, croaks, and clicking of the teeth, and has its own alphabet. Although this is mainly from promotional material for the films and may not be truly canon to the films themselves, as the chance of an alien language translating perfectly to the 26-letter English alphabet is a bit too much of a coincidence, as even other Earth languages don't translate as directly as that, but it is still a cool little thing for us fans to discuss. Here is the alphabet for the language, and there are even word translators online, so you can type in what you want and it'll be translated for you. Here also is a list of known words spelt phonetically, which comes from the novelisations and comic books. Although in some of the movies the alphabet doesn't match exactly, such as in Prey, where we see through the feral predator's vision, there is some text that doesn't match this alphabet, so this could possibly mean that there are numerous different languages that the predators have. This would make sense, as the feral predator was said by the filmmakers to have been from a different hemisphere of Yautja Prime, so could speak a different language to other Yautja seen before him. Perhaps feral predators and super predators could have their own distinct languages. Also, obviously, I don't think when they're making a film that they'd make sure to be that accurate what was essentially just a marketing tool for the first movie's 3D Blu-ray release, so I think they would have just made the symbols look like they belong to the Predator language. I realise they're just movies and it's not that deep, but I do still find that sort of stuff fun to think about. Not all Yautja communication is expressed verbally, and they use a lot of body language as well that is used to portray emotion. For example, an arched back and flared mandibles indicate rage and or aggression. An arm raised up diagonally means they are guarded, and head bowed and eyes down shows submission to a superior. Sometimes predators are apparently able to understand some human words and phrases, such as in Predator 2, when the Predator Elder gives Harrigan the flintlock, he says "take it," and does so without a biomask. And in Predator 1, the Jungle Hunter would repeat words he heard Dutch and his team say, both with and without wearing his mask. Though in this movie, it isn't really inferred that the Predator necessarily understands what they are saying. The use of a predator using its biomask to record and play back sounds is called vocal mimicry, and they will use this to seemingly employ a sort of psychological warfare when hunting. In the 2018 movie The Predator, when the predators are talking, what they are saying is translated on screen by the use of subtitles. Also, towards the end of the film, the assassin uses a voice translator to translate what he is saying directly into English. One question I have about the predators having a written language is that if they see in the infrared light spectrum rather than the visible light, then how would they read their own scripture? Perhaps since we see it a lot of the time lit up on their wrist gauntlets and such, that light could perhaps give off heat for them to see it, but at the same time we also see it written in carvings and runes, so how would they be able to see those? The Yautja Honor Code is a rule which governs the predator's conduct during the hunt. It details under what circumstances a hunter may kill a prey creature and when they may not. The code is strict, and to break it purposefully, accidentally, or even unwillingly is a near irredeemable offence in many situations. All hunters are expected to hunt and kill while adhering to the code and traditions. If they breach the code, Yautja are expected to submit themselves for punishment honourably. Failure to do so marks a Yautja as a bad blood. In either case, he is then excommunicated altogether from society and considered fair game for the remaining honourable hunters. Some predators are specifically tasked with hunting down code breakers that flee from punishment or hide their failures. These are called enforcers or arbitrators. It is not entirely impossible for a Yautja that has in some way broken the code to regain their honour. Such opportunities are rare and limited to very specific circumstances as seen with Scarface. In order to even be offered the chance at redemption, the Yautja in question must have acknowledged the breach of code and willingly accept the punishment for that violation. In the case that they are offered a chance to redeem themselves, they are assigned a mission that must be completed or die trying. Those who break the code are branded as bad bloods. They are considered an insult to Yautja culture and are to be killed on sight when encountered. When hunting, the hunter must be sure that his prey is considered game and lawful to hunt. Worthy game must be strong enough to defend itself and or be capable of killing the hunter. Of age, meaning hunting children or the elderly is not honourable, not linked directly to other lives, e.g. pregnant women, and not weakened by disease. Killing prey when using less equipment is considered a greater prize, and hunters should give their prey a fighting chance. If the prey demands close combat, the hunter is to fight to their prey's standards, and should minimise the use of their plasmacaster or other projectiles. To take the trophy of another Yautja, living or dead, is considered to be a great insult. For example, two unblooded go on their first hunt, one Yautja takes on a xenomorph, and both are mortally wounded. While the wounded hunter is dying, the other hunter conveniently finishes off the prey and claims the kill as his own, abandoning the wounded Yautja. This is a crime that can be paid for with abandonment or death. To kill another Yautja intentionally holds severe consequences. This excludes self-defense and killing an opponent in a fight to settle a dispute. Murder is the worst crime a Yautja can commit. Those that have defeated a predator in a fair fight or fought bravely alongside them should be considered a worthy adversary or ally, and shown respect if they are of an intelligent species and capable of rational thought. Also, if this is the case, they will often be given a gift as a token to show that they have earned the Yautja's respect. Those who have done no harm should have no harm done to them. It can be inferred that this rule must pertain only to harming other Yautja in their society, since they hunt and kill members of many species one would call innocent. It can also be inferred that bad blood predators would ignore this rule either in part or in whole. If the prey is sick or already injured, it is not considered honourable, the exceptions being if the predator himself was the one who injured it, then he is allowed to finish the prey off, or if the sick or wounded attacks first, then the predator can kill it in self-defence. Weapons of warfare like the blazer and electroshock missile battery are forbidden by non-military caste hunters. These are considered too destructive to constitute a hunting weapon. A bad blood means a predator who has turned against its own kind and or severely violated aspects of the Yautja Honor Code, intentional or otherwise. Bad bloods are generally seen as more hostile, mentally unstable predators. These sadistic hunters have turned their back on their own kind, becoming rogues who will kill any prey they want, including non-combatants and even other predators. If the individual flees before accepting punishment, there can be no forgiveness according to predator tradition, and honourable predators are allowed to eliminate the outcasts on sight. Bad bloods are never accepted back into predator society and are banished from Yautja Prime. Until they are hunted down themselves, they wander aimlessly through the universe, either hiding from enforcers or fulfilling their insatiable bloodlust. Bad bloods still use the skills taught to them by their brothers, but they use them dishonourably and purely for their own personal gain. Bad blood equipment is usually the same as a normal predator's, though some have been known to possess unique weapons. Bad bloods will often form their own clans who have been known to go to war with those who are still honour-bound. Not all honour code violations are done intentionally, and some predators may have broken the code due to mistakes, carelessness, or through brainwashing. If an honourable predator violates the code and is at risk of being labelled a bad blood, if they submit to their punishment, depending on the offence, they can be given a chance to redeem themselves and work to reclaim their previous standing. However, these opportunities for redemption consist of incredibly dangerous missions where death is far more likely than success. In addition to any honourable hunter being allowed to kill them, certain predators are specifically tasked with hunting down known bad bloods and eliminating their existence. This caste are known as enforcers. Enforcers are Yautja that hold a special ranking within predator culture. Unlike other Yautja that hunt worthy game, enforcers hold the position of hunting down rogue bad bloods and putting an end to their existence. Enforcers can essentially be seen as a form of predator law enforcement, ensuring that those who disgrace the Yautja species are swiftly put to justice. Whether they serve as a literal police force, however, is unknown. It could be that they serve as bounty hunters, or perhaps simply act solely out of personal duty. The Super Predator clan are presumed to be bad bloods, as they were engaged in a long-running conflict with the classic predators for unknown reasons. It is possible they had been sent to the game reserve as their punishment. Because of this, they may be hated by the wider Yautja society. Notable bad blood predators include the Bad Blood Predator, the first official bad blood depicted. From the comic book Predator Bad Blood, a mentally unstable and psychotic Yautja that began a mass murder rampage in New Jersey whilst being simultaneously hunted by an enforcer predator. Devil from Predator Dark River, presumably killed by Detective Schaefer, this hunter had in fact survived and become enraged and unhinged, killing any outsiders encountered, armed or not, and was hell-bent on finding and eliminating Schaefer. Tshinde, from Alien vs Predator Prey, an ill-tempered Yautja who exhibited signs of dishonour and disrespect even before truly turning bad blood. After leaving his pack leader for dead, he murdered another predator from his own tribe and killed several unarmed humans, including children. Two Stripes from Alien vs Predator Blood Time, an unblooded predator who left a fellow hunter for dead and then attempted to claim his xenomorph kill as his own. The Mad Predator from the Alien vs Predator arcade game, he was impregnated by a facehugger and turned into an infectoid, which subsequently caused him to go on a murderous rampage. Poachers from the video game Aliens vs Predator Extinction, they were a rival clan using a planet with exclusive hunting rights. It turned out that they weren't bad bloods at all, but were another powerful clan pitted against the player's clan to see who would win in battle. Swift Knife, Long Spear and Stoneheart from the Predator Concrete Jungle game, they were captured by Borgia Industries and tortured, brainwashed and turned into cyborgs. Berserker, Falconer and Tracker from the movie Predators, a trio of super predators who were at war with the jungle hunter style Yautja. They had captured a classic predator and crucified him. And the Assassin Predator from the movie The Predator, a genetically hybridized abomination. He had been enhanced using the DNA of different species to turn himself into a super soldier. As predators are known for adhering to a code of conduct while hunting, I find it really interesting to hear about the ones that go against it, essentially the predator equivalent of criminals and serial killers. I think it would be cool to see them explored in another movie, and we could get some more predator on predator fights like we saw in Predators and to a lesser extent The Predator. A Yautja clan, also referred to as a tribe, is a group of predators who both live and hunt together. Similar to humans, predators live and function in communal groups. It is said that hunting clans are made up almost exclusively of males who live a nomadic lifestyle aboard large spacecraft, while females take residence on planets and mainly raise offspring, but some have been seen to be hunters as well. Males will presumably return to Yautja Prime and its colonies to mate or to retire into non-hunting professions. Predators in the same clan will refer to themselves as brothers or brother warriors. These groups contain individuals who share certain characteristics such as appearance, technological standards and customs. Though the specifics may be different, the vast majority of predators operate in accord to an honour code that is strict and demands harsh redemption if broken, if redemption is offered at all. However, not all predators appear to exist within a clan. Once Yautja reach blooded status, they've proven they can hunt without assistance and supervision, as they've effectively become adults to their kin, and are free to leave and hunt on their own if they choose to do so. To become a full member of a clan, known as being blooded, will consist of the young predator having to pass a test of his hunting skills. Often the xenomorph is used as it is the deadliest species known to the Yautja. The young predator will need to successfully defeat a xenomorph and mark himself with the clan's insignia in its blood. While not shown, it is likely that other tests or species are used by different clans, as we see mature accomplished hunters with no acid scar on their heads. Tribes are led by a single individual known as a clan leader. The most experienced and dominant Yautja will fill this position. A clan leader can also have their places usurped via a challenge from a lower ranked hunter. Predators who are members of a clan will hold a ranking to indicate their status, experience, and seniority within it. Although in some clans they can vary slightly in naming, but the general order goes in ascending order from most junior to most senior. Unblooded, a newly recruited predator who has not even completed basic hunter training, the lowest standing within a clan. Youngblood, adolescent Yautja that have completed their basic training regimen. They will have some hunting experience and proficiency. Blooded, when a Youngblood successfully completes the blooding ritual, they are considered an adult within their society and are now trusted to hunt alone, without the supervision of superiors. Elite, sometimes called veteran, these highly skilled and experienced Yautja have mastered the art of hunting, and Elite may choose to enter into a specialised role. Ancient, second to a clan leader, a Yautja who is among the absolute most accomplished clan members, serves as a direct advisor to the clan leader. And clan leader or elder, as the title suggests, the most powerful member of a Yautja tribe. At least in honourable clans, a clan leader is thought to be selected or at least approved by the Council of Ancients. The Council of Ancients are the prime ruling authority of the Yautja and are responsible for running their society and keeping sacred Yautja rituals and traditions alive. Clans can also be formed out of bad bloods, and it is likely that otherwise solitary and outcast hunters come together to increase their survival chance against the mainstream honourable hunters. The Super Predator clan and Killers are two tribes comprised of bad bloods, and both of them are in perpetual conflict with other more traditional clans. The conflict between the Super Predators and Jungle Hunter clan was referred to by Ronald Noland as a blood feud. Like individual predators, clans can be hailed and distinguished. However, it is possible for an entire clan to be disgraced and banished. This could be one avenue for a bad blood clan to form, when the hunters therein do not end their own lives as is expected by the Honour Code. Yautja will respect other sapient creatures and will go so far as to blood them if they prove to be respectable in combat, specifically against xenomorphs, as their honour and laws demand it. While not outright hostile, a non-Yautja member can expect to be ignored and isolated by some Yautja who may not respect other species, even if they are of bloody rank or perform amazing feats worthy of praise. Younger warriors, prone to disrespect anyway, will openly challenge and disrespect the non-Yautja. For an alien, the hunter's way is said to be senseless and forever out of reach. Some notable examples of different clans and tribes from across the different Predator movies, comic books and video games include the Jungle Hunter clan, the Los Angeles Hunting Party, the Dark Blade clan, the Feral clan, the Isolated clan, the Enforcer clan, the Super Predator clan, the Shandays clan, the Military Caste, the Tartarus clan, the Council of Ancients and the Elite clan. The majority of Yautja seen across the various Predator movies, comics, novels and video games appear to be males, going by their basic anatomy and body proportions, which does make sense from a human perspective, as with us, in nature, males would tend to fill the roles of hunters and soldiers and are more likely to use violence, whether offensively or defensively. So if predators do indeed have male and females like with us, we would be far more likely to encounter male Yautjas if they were hunting humans. There aren't many sources which go into the two genders when it comes to predator lore, and the topic is rarely explored, but there are some examples with female predators featured in, or at least mentioned. Some stories say that the females of the species live mostly on Yautja Prime and its colonies, and rear the young, which are referred to as sucklings, or sometimes suckers, pups, or younglings. Like females of the species, infants are mentioned sparingly in extended universe sources and where pictured appear to be smaller, meeker versions of the adult Yautja. It is unknown if Yautja are born in litters or if single births are common. However, most siblings observed appear to be similar in age and come in duos or trios. Depictions of female predators can vary and there is no standard set, as some sources describe them with human-like feminine features, while others show them as looking similar to the males but even bigger. Some of the most noteworthy female Yautja seen include Sister Midnight, a female predator who features in a comic book crossover between Witchblade, Alien, The Dark Nurse and Predator called Mindhunter. She joins an alliance with Sarah Pazzini and Jackie Estacado to defend the Earth from a xenomorph infestation. Big Mama, a female Yautja from AVP Deadliest of the Species, a comic book where a predator allies with humans to defeat the xenomorph white hybrid king. Also, in the video game Predator Hunting Grounds, female predators feature as playable characters to choose from like Cleopatra, Pirate and Valkyrie, and in some novels there are female predators featured. The Council of Ancients are the prime ruling authority of the Yautja. As their name implies, they were a council of ancient predators, spiritual leaders of the species. Within clans, there are typically only one ancient, meaning that the council might have been composed of several ancients from several different clans. If the clan trials have commenced and been successful, the council would actually be composed of two clans, the ancients themselves and their eventual successors. Not much information can be discerned about the Council of Ancients, as its source mentions it rather sparingly. What is known is that they hold superiority over all other clans, which look to it for guidance and structure via the laws it creates. Clans must also petition the council to have exclusive access, called exclusive hunting rights, to a planet for hunting purposes. The council is responsible for keeping sacred Yautja rituals and traditions alive. It is also responsible for meting out punishment when particularly egregious slights against predator kind arise from non-predator races, such as humans. The council is shown to, in a way, be responsible for the honour and integrity of the species as a whole, and will ruthlessly destroy anything that sullies that honour, be it hunter, human, or xenomorph. If the ancients have selected successors following the completion of the proper trials, once done, the to-be council acts as a subordinate clan to the current council and directly carries out their edicts. It is unknown if the failure to do this disqualifies the otherwise selected clan to maintain their mantle as ancients. Ancient clans do not rule forever. After a point in time, they begin to look at the strongest and most distinguished of lesser clans to be successors. These clans, once chosen, are not notified of their nomination, but pitted against each other in a violent clash, whilst viewing the others as poachers on the planet they rightfully have exclusive hunting rights to. They use imported alien eggs to test a clan's hunting prowess in an area. When distance becomes an issue, the ancients order their chosen to participate in clan trials, a pair of formal hunts designed to showcase a clan's skill. These are the trials of bravery and stealth. Succeeding in the first trial distinguishes a clan. Winning the second trial, one of bravery requiring the infiltration of a mature hive and the slaying and trophy making of a queen alien, secures a selected clan's position as successors to the council.